Since 2007, one man has dared to expose the sinister power players on all sides of the phony political spectrum. Armed with over 30 years of research knowledge of the paranormal, government conspiracies, geopolitics, secret and ancient societies, the esoteric arts, and much more. One man's quest for knowledge has become a mission for the enlightenment of all people. Broadcasting from the conspiracy ground zero of Dallas, Texas, this is The Global Reality with your host, Josh Reeves.
All right, how we doing, guys? Let's fucking go. Back in the saddle here with you. It's Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Thanks to everyone for tuning in and being here with me today. Oh, it was a long slog trying to make it this last time. I'm fucking spent. Oh, figuratively and literally. Oh, man. So I have one hurdle left to overcome. It's our another usual one after we have the operating costs the first of the month. We also have to keep the power and the internet on at the studio. So our goal for this week to raise by tomorrow is $200. Dayglow76 at yahoo.com on PayPal. Reeves Radio, all lowercase, one word, Reeves Radio on the Cash App. And capital J, Josh, dash, capital R, Reeves, dash 61 on Venmo. And 7894 if it asks you for the last four digits of my number on Venmo. There you go. Plus, I got to eat too, so 200 will just cover the power and the internet, but I gotta eat also, guys. All right, it's been slim. I've had like one meal in the last week and a half. All right, and I really put it to it last week because I was put the pedal to the metal because the last time my power was out, I can't endure the power being out this time because it just started getting hot in Dallas this week. Yeah, we just hit 100 for the first time yesterday. And I'll fry if I don't have power. I don't want to die in the heat. Even when I wanted to die in the winter when we had to endure the power being out a couple of times. So, yeah, make sure we get that by tomorrow, guys, all right? Buy downloads, that's all you can do. I put out 4 films last week. Thanks to Richard Serra for having me on his show last week. I mean, I put that movie Lunar Trading when I talked about it on his show. Put that out on Monday, and then, and the next week the show was out, and then by that Thursday, I was recording a podcast with him, so, that's really good for that. So, Lunar Trading, listen, it's not bullshit. What I said on his show is true. What I said on here is true. Listen, if you already are somebody, I don't know dick about what stocks to buy or invest in. Like I said, I've never had money to invest in anything more than a bag of chips at the gas station. But I know for a fact this method works because I've met people and talked with people who have used it and shown tremendous results, some multi-million-dollar tremendous results. So, if you are somebody that already knows what are good stocks to invest in, this film could really be a tool that could really show you and tell you when to buy, when to sell, when not to do either one, that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. Lunar Trading, The Fiery Furnace Stargate, which is one I've wanted to make for 15 years. I just kind of forgot about it so much. I've made so much. And then after The Fiery Furnace Stargate, another one I wanted to make was on the back burner for years. Some of these are short films, by the way. Hangar 18, about the infamous Hangar 18 at right? Patterson Air Force Base. You can get you can also get the UFO collection in the download store, which has the new film, Hangar 18. It has the Reality Illusion Series 2 that deals with JFK, UFOs, and the Nazis. That's a really good info-packed one. Comes with that. Comes with my 2023 extended director's cut version of Aliens or Nah, the complete guide to the fake alien invasion. And then it has the UFOs, What's Going On with director's commentary that I put on YouTube recently. You get a copy of that. Another UFO documentary. It's not mine, not one of mine, but another one. I forget what the name of it is. And then you get a bunch of audiobooks that I've done on the subject as well. So it's a really price-friendly multi-pack for $40 to get that UFO collection that's in the download store right now. So just keep that in mind, all right? Everybody buy downloads or buy one between now and tomorrow, and just help us raise this 200 so we can keep the internet and the power on, and I'll start writing the next batch of stuff for you, all right? So, I was talking about it just started getting warm here yesterday. They said it wasn't as warm as they said it was going to be, but they said it was going to be hot as Death Valley in Texas yesterday. You know, I've been to Death Valley. I went there in 2013. I remember thinking, you know what? Essentially, I mean, we have days as hot as this and hotter in Dallas. Truly. Plus, you got 70% humidity here. Jesus Christ. Talk about swamp ass. Well, that's why I hate Houston. Not only it's already high humidity because it's Texas, but you get down there to Houston, it's a fucking swamp. Like 85% humidity in Houston on most days. Every time I go to Houston, I blow the crotch out of my pants. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. I'm not kidding you. Last time I went to Houston, 2013 maybe, I don't remember when it was, when I was 2013, 2014, where I did that talk, that Rockwall talk. You can get that in the download store as well. I bought a brand new pair of pants, and I bought two, because I went, you know what? I'm going to wear one. I'm going to buy one extra, because I know if anything like other times I've been in Houston, I'm going to blow the fucking crotch out of my fucking jeans on day one. And sure fucking enough, I shit you not, fucking crotch blew out of my fucking out of my fucking pants. I had to walk into a Chili's with my hand over my cock hole. Because I don't wear underwear. I had to go put my hand over my cock hole and go into a Chili's bathroom with a fucking pair of pants and changers. Because every time I go to Houston, I blow the crotch out of my shit. Every time. I don't know what it is. Goddamn you, Houston. You crotch blowing motherfucker, you. Jesus. Anyway. So, the reason it was so hot yesterday is because we just had a massive solar storm. And there's already been outages. If you guys have any outages wherever you are, please email me, globalrealityshow@gmail.com, so I can give a global outage report here on the show. Because even when there are interruptions sometimes from solar activity, they don't always report it. We have solar-related brownouts here. I don't want to say all the time, but we've had them several times. Now, when a brownout or something like that happens, a solar-related power outage or something, you should be able to go directly to NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration website, and immediately find out what it was. And several times we've had them here in Dallas, and I go look and there's no info. Go look days later, no info. But yeah, you see it happening in several other places. I think there's something going on with that. I heard Trump put NOAA on the chopping block, even not he's not getting rid of the organization or anything, but he's shit-canning a bunch of people. Yeah, probably because they're not actively keeping up. I can tell you, just because I tracked this shit and have for years, I can tell you right now, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, Maybe one of you spooks that listen to this show can tell the president what I said. NOAA, who he rightly has fired a bunch of people and had them on the chopping block, does not properly report active space weather when it happens as it should. I can go to independently run websites which are just ran by normal citizens, and it's better than NOAA. Yeah, they suck dickholes. So please, Mr. Spooks and Feds and all you cocksuckers that listen to this show, please tell Mr. President, if you can't pass a message to him, that NOAA, he rightly has them on the chopping block because they ain't doing shit. They're not doing their job. Some might say they're intentionally not doing their job. I could probably get down with that and tell you and agree with that. But even still, if I can go to some fucking website ran by some Yahoo in his mom's basement and it's better than the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration's website, that's a problem, you know? I mean, all the liberals bitching and pissing and moaning about the fucking, oh, he's terrible, he's firing these no people, and bitching, pissing and moaning about fucking whatever they bitching, pissing and moaning about today, Tesla or whatever, you know. I don't even know what my point was. Anyway. Oh, they're crying. Yeah, I saw liberals online recently crying about Trump firing a bunch of people from NOAA. Well, listen, just as a regular, everyday citizen who monitors space weather independently on his own every single day, I can tell you right now, those yahoos at NOAA are not doing their job, because I can point you in the direction of 2 or 3 guys probably running out of their mom's basement on a fucking laptop smoking NOAA. So, I mean, cry, liberals, cry. That's all y'all know how to do. Massive solar storm causes worldwide blackouts as experts warn the worst is yet to come. And who was telling you about this? I told you about this last summer. Remember last summer how active the space weather was last summer? It was so hot. And it was the hottest year on record. 2020 was the hottest year. And they completely blamed it all on man-made climate change, and not the fact that we're in the peak of the most active solar storm in recorded history. Solar cycle 25. I made films about it, did shows about it. I've been telling you about it longer than they've been talking about it in the news. That's for sure. Just like I was talking about COVID 3 months before you ever heard it was called coronavirus then, but I was talking about it 3 months before anyone ever heard of a pandemic. The sun has unleashed the strongest solar flare of the year, triggering strong radio blackouts across the globe. Just after 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, a massive X 2.7 class solar flare erupted from a newly emerging cold, dark region known as AR4087. That's a stupid cold, dark region. There's no cold regions on the fucking sun, you fucking retard. This is written by a fucking bot AI, as most of these articles are now. X-class flares are the most intense in the solar flare storm scale, capable of disrupting communications, damaging satellites, and even threatening power grids. Well, here's the thing, and I've talked about this a bunch of times on this show too. That's why I wanted you guys to, if you notice disruptions from this, or power goes out, whatever goes out, write me an email, globalrealityshow@gmail.com, and let me know, okay? Now, here's why. Because I've talked about this too, and I don't know if you, it's real simple in to lean to the religious side of things. Maybe it is. I'm not saying it's not. Just saying. It's very easy to lean towards that religious side of things, because every time we have one of these solar flares and there's warnings about disruptions and power grids on this, guess what? Nothing ever happens. And let me tell you, folks, not once, not twice, not 3 times, probably about 30 times this year, as I've been monitoring solar activity, there have been solar flares that have been coming out of the sun that just conveniently went the opposite side of Earth, to the left or the right, whatever, that would have been bye for planet Earth. Yeah. It would have been our ass. And every single one of them. I've been saying this for a long time. There is some sort of, whatever you want to call it, divine force, divine energy, God, simulation theory, whatever. There is, because, as I've talked about many times as well, I made a movie last year about the Van Allen radiation belt. I mean, that's such an anomaly because that we know of, and I've looked into this, and scientists have been looking into this for years. I just, they're not going to talk about it on the 6 o'clock news, but our radiation belts protecting a planet and the inhabitants on it from harmful solar radiation, if Earth has that and it's just a natural thing that happens, that would mean other planets would have that, right? You would think logically, right? Guess what? They don't. You see what I'm saying? Something created the Van Allen radiation belts and placed them where they are in order to protect Earth and its inhabitants. And I've talked about this a bunch. I even mentioned it on Richard Serrett's show when I was on there. Like I said, I'm making a film about John D. Well, John D, he was talking to what he believed were aliens, or not aliens, angels. Really, they're demons. But in communicating with this thing, the Queen wanted to know what could be done to ensure the supremacy of the British Empire. That was the question she put forward to John Dee to ask this entity he was channeling to. And the entity told him that we have to mine the earth for an element called silicon, which will be used to make technology that will allow humans to break free from the etheric energy barrier surrounding the earth. This is 17th century, guys. Okay? Can you imagine? You got your fucking hands over your fucking ball sack and dick when you walk in to tell the Queen that one. You know what I mean? Because she's liable just to whop your twig and berry right the fuck off for saying that wild shit. Because this is 17th century, no one knew what silicon or even creating space travel technology or anything. We didn't even know how to fly yet. You know what I mean? The Van Allen radiation belts weren't known about until the 40s. Yeah. We didn't know about them until the 40s. But in the 17th century, John Dee's telling fucking Queen Elizabeth, oh, by the way, we got to find this shit called silicon. I don't know. We got to make some shit, ethereal energy barrier around the earth, some shit. I don't know. We're stuck here. We can't get free. And then what did they do? I made a film about it last year. They nuked the Van Allen radio. Oh, it wasn't the 40s, but the 50s. It was like 57 when they didn't know about the Van Allen radiation belts until 57. And then in 62, we started nuking them. Because the United States military and government went, you know what, fuck them. We can't break free of this shit. We can't get to the moon. Ain't nobody going to. So they nuked the Van Allen radiation belts, which caused an extra belt to form, which just recently came back during this most current solar cycle 25. Yeah, it'd been dormant since they nuked it in 52, and it came back because of all the solar radiation of the most recent, this solar cycle 25 we're in. Yes, it's fucking wild. So when they nuked the Van Allen radiation belts, it made it prohibitive for space travel. That's the real reason. But we had to beat the Russians there because they'd already beat us by putting a fucking guy in a spacecraft around the Earth. But he just orbited around the Earth like a satellite. That's as far as he went. So we nuked the Van Allen radiation belt in 52 in a gesture of, well, we can't go to the moon? Psh, ain't nobody going. Ain't nobody leaving Earth or coming into Earth from somewhere else. That's how we know aliens and all that stuff aren't coming from space through the atmosphere and through the Van Allen radiation belt. They wouldn't make it. Probably a lot of the ones they recovered have been ones that were like that. They didn't know about the Van Allen radiation belts, passed through it, and then they crashed and died. There probably have been those. A lot of them probably. But, yeah, the Van Allen radiation belt is absolutely an artificial construct. There's no, I mean, if it was natural, other planets would have them to shield them from harmful solar radiation, but they don't. They don't. But yeah, what was the name of that? Operation, I can't even remember. Fishbowl and Starfish. Give me a second. Operation Dominic, Fishbowl and Starfish, Mother of All Lies. That's a film I made last year about the nuking of the Van Allen radiation belt. You should see that one if you haven't. Because again, that's the whole reason why we faked the moon landing. Because we couldn't get to the moon, get through the Van Allen radiation. And they got all that footage. That footage of fucking the footage of Neil Armstrong coming out of the capsule is perfectly framed up shot on a tripod. Like, wait a minute. Who was already there filming that thing? It's a perfect framed up shot. They shot that in Arizona, by the way. Yeah, just outside of Flagstaff. They created a 2-mile replica of the Sea of Tranquility in the desert. Outside, open air. Yeah. It wasn't a studio. That's wrong when people say it was in a studio. No, it wasn't. It was at night in the middle of the desert, right outside fucking Flagstaff. They just had those big, like, Super Trooper lights and those big, like, to make it look like there was, like it was, I guess, the sun. The lighting, and that's the most problematic thing in that fake moon landing. But it's like, where's the light source here? Yeah, I mean, that light, you wouldn't have been able to, it wouldn't have been, back in those days, first off, all the footage filmed in 1969 was on film. That you had to actually take and develop in a laboratory before you could show it on a projector. And radiation exposes film 100% of the time. So if you try to take a camera with film in it on it through the Van Allen radiation belts and back through again, you're going to come back exposed. There's going to be nothing on there. But somehow, with some technology, also they were showing like they had like a live feed. You couldn't broadcast live video footage in 1969. It wasn't possible yet. And people just don't know because people think it was available. It's fucking retarded. If directed at Earth, these high energy waves get ionized the upper atmosphere. Again, that's the point I was on. Yeah, there's something, whatever you want to call it, God or whatever you want, what name or whatever you want to assign to it based on your personal belief. Something is protecting the Earth in an uncanny way. So, yeah, again, call that what you will, but that's why I wanted people to send in reports if they experienced disruptions during this current solar flare approaching Earth, is because anytime they have warnings, nothing ever happens. I mean, did nuking the Van Allen radiation belt also make it more protective? We know it's more deadly. It made space travel prohibitive either through it or through it going away from Earth or through it going into Earth. So that's my question. It added an additional third belt. We know that. That third belt was recently activated last year by intense solar activity. So my theory is they know full well it's an artificial construct. And I think they also know of cyclical solar events they don't tell us about. Why do I believe this? Well, whenever I went to all these ancient sites around America. When I was filming my Lost Secrets of Ancient America 3-part series, I found that again and again was these sites that are aligned to the equinox, to the solstice, sunset, sunset, and sunrise, all of these things. Even the rock wall was that. So I started to see in these different sites, I discovered the Babylonian sexagesimal numerical system, which is based on the sun. I discovered that at the Newark Earthworks in Ohio. Yeah. Why would a site in the middle of fuck all nowhere in Ohio have the Babylonian numerical system encoded into its structures relating to the sun? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think the elites have this knowledge. I think they want to try to not cause panics and stuff like that, but I think it's possible they know of some solar event coming in the future, and this is why they nuked the Van Allen radiation belt, which had the byproduct negative effect of, unless we can figure out how to make a spaceship that's radiation resistant to go through the Van Allen radiation belts to leave Earth and then go back through them again to come back to Earth. Space travel is going to be prohibitive, but we won't get wiped out by this massive solar flare we know that's coming in the year 2000, whatever. It could have been that. Very well could have been that. Again, guys, I put out, how many have I put out this year already? 15, 16? I don't even know. I lost track. 32, 34 last year already. But yeah, lunar trading. That's what I got on this tangent about. Lunar trading, Fiery Furnace Stargate, Hangar 18, and the newest one is Psychotronic Weapons, The War on the Mind. Someone asked me, that's what I was going to mention. So, the end song in my newest film, Psychotronic Weaponry, is, everybody knows the song. It's Mind Games by John Lennon, but somebody was asking me who that is singing that. You don't know who that is? That's Sinead O'Connor. Yeah, that's not AI. It's a real thing. Yeah. Yeah, Mind Games by Sinead O'Connor. That's the end song of, man, I'll never forget, it was the greatest walkout in UFC history when Conor McGregor was fighting in Ireland and he had Sinead O'Connor come and sing live on stage as he walked out. That was one of the coolest looking things ever. It'll never be topped. It was the coolest walkout of all time for sure. But, yeah, that's who that is. Anyway, 4 films out in the last week, guys. All the other good ones I put out before that this year already. Spellcaster 6, comedy, God is AI, my tour de force mafia film I'd been trying to put together for years. Listen, just go buy some. Blood, sweat, and tears go into these films, guys. You guys support it, all right? I love you. We'll see you next time. Take care.